I'm going to introduce our next guest. You know him well.
He's a great guy. I love him.
If you've been in the Lake Norman area for any period of time, if you don't know this gentleman, you've been hiding in your basement. I'm speaking about Joe Carbon. Joe is the owner of Good Old Fashioned Auto Repair. Joe, my friend, thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You want to get a little bit closer to that mic, Joe, so they can catch you. So you and I have met 8, 9 years ago. It seems like a long time. I've been in the area 17, almost 18 years. I don't remember time Joe hasn't been here, right? Is that fair?
20 years.
20 years.
Right.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So I went to your website. We haven't spoken a couple of years. I don't know why. I guess COVID just kind of put us apart or whatever. And, I don't go to as many networking functions as I used to with the chamber. That's probably where we saw each other a lot. So I went to your website because I wanted to refresh myself. And then I saw your lovely wife. I apologize. I don't remember her name.
Terry.
Okay. I was expecting you to bring her, by the way. I mean, I got a chair for her. And you didn't bring her. I was expecting that, you understand. But I saw both of you as this marketing expertise over the years. You had a way of making sure you were in and around where you thought you needed to be in and around to grow your business for many years. Would you say that's one of your strengths?
I would call it more like just being involved.
Oh.
When I first started with the Lake Norman Chamber, my plan was to be at everything. A year.
Be at everything.
Be at everything.
Be at everything.
And a year later.
I've never heard anybody say they're going to do that in the chamber. You understand? That's a tall tale to do, right?
Yeah.
Unless you get involved with too many chambers at the same time. But my key to success was just pick one.
Yeah.
And then be at everything you can possibly be at. And if you do that, people will get to know you quickly, and that whole trust happens. Don't sell, just make new friends.
Right.
And if you do that over and over and over again, it works. And I would say by the end of the first year, I became an ambassador for the Lake Norman Chamber, and it caused me to be even more involved and be at everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there's like 3 different names, you understand, that I can attribute to you, right? So when I go to the website, you tell me here, okay? I'm looking at the website and I see what's this? Mooresville and Lake Norman Auto Repair.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the core of the business?
Yes.
Okay. And then I see Freedom Auto Repair. Am I reading that right? I'm
No.
trying to find that here. Good old. Okay. No. I see. Good Old Fashioned Auto Repair. Okay, got it. I was reading that wrong. Okay, got it. So, do you do the auto repairs? Because I didn't know you to be the guy that did the repairs. I thought you just helped me make sure they got done properly.
That's right on both hands.
So you'll do, if you can do it, you'll do it.
I've been a automotive technician for 50 years.
Wow.
Started out with my dad when I was 13 years old.
He don't have any hair, so you can't tell he's old. You understand that, don't you? Okay, all right.
And these days, when I built this business, I wanted to run my business rather than work in my business. I have vendor partners that are all the best of the best. They're all vetted by me, so there's literally nothing I can't do for my customers, from your basic oil change, major mechanical, paint and body, transmission diagnostic and overhaul. We do a lot of restoration work on older and hot rod cars.
Well,
That would be fun. That would be fun to see.
Whoa! We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Okay, don't ask him about that right now.
Okay.
But we're gonna get to that whole section
Nice.
of these old cars I see on your website.
Okay.
Okay. But first, let's talk about all of the many um, people that are saying positive things about your company on your website, it all boils down to Joe is there to help me do whatever needs to be done. And most of the time, I don't even know what needs to be done. Joe's going to tell me, and I'm going to trust him to do that, right? That seems to be the core of what it is you do. Whether you're going to repair it or whether you're going to tell them where they need to go to repair that. Is that a fair description of your business?
Close. You
You
use
see how hard it is for me to define your business here, right? I'm
good.
struggling, Joe.
That's
I'm
good.
struggling.
That's good. Let me say this. You said one word, and if you had to sum up why people use us, trust.
Yeah.
People trust us.
Yeah.
Simple as that. They trust me to get to know who they are in terms of their car, their lifestyle, their financial situation, get to know their car. And then once I do that, I put myself in that position based on what I know of you. And I say, if this was me, what
Yeah.
would I do?
Yeah.
So whatever's in your best interest is what I'll recommend. That's where the trust comes from. And if you're reading our customer testimonials, and I always encourage
It goes
people,
on and on and on and on. The testimonials will it's the who's who of the area, right? Saying how wonderful Joe and his wife are. And by the way, on Facebook, Bill Russell said you are a community treasure. Now I got to be honest with you, Joe. I'm a little jealous about that. I mean, Bill Russell has never given me any props whatsoever, and you're a community treasure. I would agree with Bill Russell on that, my friend.
thank you.
So describe this trust. Where does it come from that I'm going to trust you to tell me what to do with what is probably my third biggest investment that I would have? You know, in most cases, the car kind of fits around there, right? Why am I going to call Joe to have him give me that thought process?
Well, let me start out by saying, which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Oh, Chris knows the answer to that.
Okay.
Chris has the answer to that.
Well,
I'm curious what his responses. I'm curious what Joe's going to say about this.
on our website,
Bill, if you're listening on Facebook, I want to know I want Bill to give us the answer to
Yes.
that. Go right ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
on our website, we talk about which came first, the chicken or the egg. Were they friends first that became customers, or were they customers that then became friends? Sometimes it's hard to remember which one they were first.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they all become family. And how do you treat family? You look out for their best interests. And we have quite the reputation of doing that.
Nice.
On the average of twice a month, I have what's come to be known as a come to Jesus conversation, where I'm saying to you, Joe, you're facing a $4,000 to $5,000 transmission overhaul on a van that has 250,000 miles on it.
But
What's
I love
next?
the thing. I just love it. It's like an old shoe. It feels good to me.
But what can we do to talk you out of that vehicle and get you into something that's going to spend more time in your garage than mine?
Right. Got it. Picking on you during the break because I'm confused more now than I ever was. This, as Bill Russell calls you, the treasure of the community. I don't understand the business. And you gave me the secret sauce, which is it doesn't really matter where it goes. It doesn't matter. You are going to guarantee it's the way I need it, how I need it, period. So whether it goes to a dealer, whether it goes to Bobby's backyard, it doesn't matter. It will be done. It'll be done right, and you're going to guarantee it when it's all over with.
That's correct.
Hey, I got it.
Yes.
I finally got
I do want to say one thing. When it comes to like fixing cars or doing that, unless you're a mechanic, it's a confusing world out there. So when Joe brings up trust, that is really the defining thing when I think about Joe, is because you can at least trust him. You hear the news, good or bad, but you know that you're getting it from a reliable source, someone who's going to tell you the way it is and not try to do something that you'll find out later maybe you didn't need. And I think a lot of people in a world, again, where it's confusing, he gets rid of the noise and makes it easy for you to get something done that you may not want to do.
And it's not easy because he's actually putting himself in for the decision making,
Yes.
which means he's
Yeah.
trying to make a decision for
Right.
me, which puts the burden on him
Right.
to absolutely
Right.
make a decision that I'll be comfortable when it's over with.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just
that is a tremendous amount of respect that you are giving your clients when you say, I got this.
Yeah.
I got this. I can do this for you.
They're not just money. It's not just a car. It's more than that. And every time I've seen or heard anything about Joe, I always get that. You can trust him. No matter what it is, I feel like this guy's going to give it to me straight. I don't have to worry about it. It's one less thing off my table.
If somebody wanted to reach you, my friend, because they got car trouble right now today, the car doesn't run, all they're doing is listen to the radio right now, how can they get you, buddy?
704-799-0318, or go to our website at GoFar, G-O-F-A-R, short for Good Old Fashioned Auto Repair, GuardianAngels.com, because that's what we are, the guardian angels of automotive service watching over you.
Nice.
Okay, so you got a list of some things you want to talk about, and then we're going to talk about the old cars I see on the website, okay? So what is something that you would like to make sure people know about your business?
Well, let's get back to the conversation about trust again, okay? How much trust? I have customers that typically leave me car keys under their house doormat and then leave me sometimes blank signed checks under their house doormat. A couple of times a week, I hear, go ahead, Joe, I trust you, okay? That means more to me
Right.
than the money, that people feel that way, because that's how I was brought up, was to always do the right thing. And when that is validated with statements like that, and I
must tell you something, Joe, that statement that people trust you is so heartwarming.
Yes.
For somebody like me that knows zero about a car, right? So even if I was in front of a dealer that I trusted and they're talking to me, I would have no idea what information they were giving me. So I absolutely would want somebody like you to at least translate what the information is that they're giving me. And that trust, it is remarkable that you built that over the years.
Yes.
I had a customer that went out of town for about a week, and she left her Jaguar for me to take care of while she was gone. I know her dogs and I know her whole family. So she had left me a blank signed check on her kitchen table. And when I got done with the car, I brought it back to the house, and she says, well, do me a favor. You go in around the back of the house. I left the door unlocked. Your check is on the kitchen table. Just call me and tell me how much it is. But while you're there, would you mind letting my dogs out to do their business and then just close up behind us? There were countless stories similar to that.
Right. So, Joe, how did the business get started, right? Because this is so unique. It's a unique way to intertwine this trust relationship, the mechanic skill set that you have, the hundreds of relationships that you have of mechanics throughout the area, right? And clients that want to use your service. Where did this idea come from?
It's kind of half and half. When I was started
If you
out,
say chicken and egg again.
no. When I was a kid, I worked for my dad, and I was 13 years old when I first started out. And a few years later, he became a partner in an all German car repair shop in Woodside, Queens, New York. And we did pickup and delivery, and we did that special kind of connection with our customers. They had a lot of customers in the New York City area, and so I kind of piggybacked off of that. He passed away when I was 18, but later on I started to put together what I had learned there and the opportunity here, and I said, I think I can do this, and I just kind of created it as I went along. But there is no blueprint for what I do.
So how do you discern whether this is an auto repair company that you want to add to your mix? of service providers? How do you make that decision? How do you make that call? Because you're essentially guaranteeing their work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's way.
I wish those of you could see his face. That
we don't.
That was
we
a
don't have.
frustrating look.
We don't have the time. Put it that way. We don't have the time. Most of my shops take 1 to 2 years to completely vet before we really hit the ground running.
Wow.
My longest running partner is 18 years.
Wow.
We've been working together. I have a tendency to hang on to them for a long time.
Nice.
Interesting. What do you want to tell somebody that's thinking about starting business? What advice would you give them?
Well, I can only say what I know about working in the Lake Norman area because this is such a unique community,
I agree with that.
and I've absolutely loved it. As an ambassador, we see lots of new people coming into the chamber each month. I try to get them to understand that the last thing you want to do is sell. Okay, go out to every function you can be to, and make friends.
Yeah.
Do nothing more than make friends. And when you're going through that making friends process, get them talking more than you talk. Find out about them, get to know them intimately. And if you do that, everything else just takes care of itself.
Yeah.
However, it is a long time consuming process.
Sure.
And you have to accept that going in.
I can remember years ago when I went to a orientation at the chamber. Somebody walked up to me and it was a group of people around us and said, "Hey Joe, how would you recommend I get started networking?" And I really didn't have an answer, right? I was thinking through one, and somebody standing next to me said, "Go follow Joe Carbon around." You are the example
Yes.
of what to do and how to network, my friend.
Yes.
Thank you.
So we've got a couple of minutes left, right? So I can't help it. I go to your website. I see these old cars. I see some of them. It looks like you'd been working on them. It looked like clients were also working on some of it. Tell me about the amount of old cars that you work with and work on, because it looks like that's a fun part of your business.
I love the projects. They're challenging, but I love the projects.
Because those could be like year-long projects on a particular car like that, right?
Some more than that. There's a Volkswagen on there that started out as
The white one that I'm
the
looking
white
at?
one.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. He bought that car before he called me, and
Well, that was his first mistake. You won't say it, Joe, because you're too nice. I'll say it. Whoops.
he asked me to. He had read all of our
Testimonials and
customer
everything. Yeah.
testimonials. And by the way, every time I deal with someone new, I always encourage them before they use us, go to our testimonial section and see what our customers have to say about us. But be careful. You need to make a pot of coffee, because you're going to be there a long time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that usually gets some interest in wanting to know
Right.
more about who we are and what we do. So in any event, David, he did his due diligence, called me, said, "You're my guy." I say, "Great, I appreciate that trust going in, and we've just met." Went and took his car for a ride, and there was like a shopping list this long. And it was just, he had bought himself a car that somebody else had been playing with.
Right.
Okay. And wow, did we open up a can of worms. It took probably 7-8 months to get all the mechanical stuff. Then I took it back to him. Enjoy it for the summer, David. And then
Will's
we'll
got
get
that car on Facebook right now. It's just a great. Thank you so much, my friend, for being on this show.
you.
I really do appreciate it. It's
Yes.
great seeing you again. It's been a while.
You as well.
Yep.
Now that my car is getting older, we'll be in touch again. Hit it, Wilton. Bring it on, Wilton. Yeah. inspire, inform, entertain. News Talk WSIC. Because that's what we do. If it's Friday afternoon, your business matters. We will see you next week.